Hey guys, I'm Carson with Lost Artistry, and today we're going to be talking about easy fans. So first what they are, and then the two different types that we offer here at Lost Artistry. So easy fans are volume lashes with a sticky residue at the base that allows them to fan more easily and the bases to stay together once you've made your fan. So when you're using easy fans, you're always gonna make the fan a little bit wider than you want it to actually be, as the sticky residue that holds the base together will cause it to slightly close. On that note, when you lay the lash, when you lay the fan on the natural lash, you're gonna wanna make sure the glue is fully cured between the fan and the natural lash to ensure that your fan doesn't close up. So you're gonna hold it there a little longer than you would with your handmade fans. So the two different types that we have here at Lost Artistry is our standard easy fans and our Camellia easy fans. So the difference between them is that the Camellia are staggered lengths. So you'll see a 10, 11, 12 Camellia. And what that means is that on the strip of the volume lashes, you have 10, 11, and 12 millimeter all in one strip, and they're staggered so that when you make your fan, the tips aren't even. On our standard easy fans, there'll be an even uniform tip, but the Camellia will be staggered, which creates a little bit more darkness and textured effect. So those are the two that we have. That's the difference between them, and that's how you apply. Take a look at this clip at the end here and it'll show you the application process. And one other tip to consider, the sticky residue that's on the base of the fans will create a slightly chunkier base than what you'd be used to with your handmade fans. And the way to get around this is by simply pinching the base. So once your fan is made, take your fingers and just the same as you would with the handmade pinch method, is just pinch and kind of roll the base, and that'll tighten that base right up and prevent the fan from closing further.
So in this video, we are going to go through how you can use easy fans. So everybody has a preference. Guys, I really suggest taking the time and trying different methods in order to find which method works best for you in terms of pickup and laying technique. So I'm going to run you through the most common ways to use easy fans, and by all means, if you have another way that works really well for you, leave it in the comments below, because we would love to hear and share it with other artists, because if it's helpful for you, likely will be helpful for someone else as well. So for this exercise, I'm going to be using our easy fans as an example. So these are our easy fan strips. You can see that they're a lot smaller than this strip here. So this is our standard easy fan and Camellia fan strip. So I'm working with 11 millimeters for this exercise for this particular easy fan, but again, the exact same methods for Camellia fans. And then afterwards, we have this brand new product. It's a never seen before product. They're called V-necks. So these are exclusive to our company. And what these are, we'll go through that in a minute. But anyways, we have our easy fans and our V-neck fan. So you'll notice that the strip is much, much longer for the V-neck fan. So that tray is gonna go a lot further. Anyhow, we're gonna get into method number one. So what I'm gonna show you for this method is how to use them on the sticky strip. So when you're picking up your easy fans and using them on the sticky strip, I would suggest either using our Grippo, either our Crane Grippo like I'm using today, or you can use our Slim Boot Grippo as well. Guys, tweezer is totally a preference thing. However, I only use these two tweezers when I'm using easy fans. So definitely depending on the method that I'm using, I prefer one or the other. When I'm picking up and playing with my sticky dot, I do prefer a really pointed tip because it's nice to fan those guys out. So you're gonna lay them down, and you may notice that the fan will close up a little bit. So you'll use the points of your tweezers and just gently fan that guy out. And one big tip that I have when working with easy fans on the sticky dot is that you want to make your fan, and just in general, you want to make your fan a little bit wider than you would initially expect to make it, only because of the bonding agent that's at that base, the fan wants to close up a little bit because it's holding those lashes together. So just make it a little wider than you're wanting and use very, very little pressure here in order to make the fan nice and wide. And then really know your sweet spot if you're going to use your sticky strip, and then you can pull your fan right off there. And then you can go ahead and dip. So for the next method, I'm going to switch up my tweezer from my Crane, and I'm gonna go into using my Slim Boot Grippo. So when I'm working with my pinch method, I come in as I would handmade volume. So if you're not familiar with handmade volume, that is absolutely fine. I'm just gonna walk you through. So I'm gonna come in just past where that sticky strip is on our strip of lashes and grip the amount of lashes that I want. Now guys, I like to pick up, if I'm using my Grippo Slim Boot, right at that tip. I find it really helpful. And then I do a little bit of a shimmy just to make the fan start creating itself. And then I'm gonna pull toward myself in order to take it off. And the fan's already been made. Now, I'm gonna come in and pinch that fan. And when I'm pinching it, I'm letting go of my pressure at the tip of my tweezers just ever so slightly, and I'm moving it between my fingers. See my pinkies behind for support as well. That I find that very helpful, but I'm gonna pinch that fan and make it a little bit wider and fan those guys out. And that also helps make your base of your fan even tinier. So when you pinch that Easy Fan, what you're doing is making that base very, very, very tiny and pointy, just like you would expect out of that perfect handmade fan. So that's a really important step if you're looking for that tiny base and that really nice hug around the natural lash. If you're wanting to skip that step, all you have to do is come in the exact same way. You're gonna come in, you're gonna just shimmy that fan, pick it up, pull it towards you, and that's gonna make a nice enough fan. However, you're gonna notice that that base isn't gonna be quite as nice and your fan may not be as perfect either. So definitely keep that in mind, and may be worth going that extra step just to make sure that the fan is perfect. And not only does pinching the base make the fan beautiful and pointy, but it also helps ensure that the fan doesn't close up. So we're trying to keep that fan as wide as we want it. And yes, we're gonna make that fan extra wide and in order to keep it from closing up when we actually lay it. But if we don't pinch it, then it is gonna want to go back to that strip form and that closed form that it's used to being molded into. So by pinching, it really does keep that fan open as well. And I'm gonna hop in on a little side note here and talk about the way that I'm holding my tweezers. No matter what, guys, when you're doing any sort of volume, especially when it's handmade in any form, I do like to have 3 tweezers. You can get away with 2, but just that extra control that you have when you're using 3 fingers is huge. And also, the way that your fingers are placed make a big difference too. Let's say that we lean it toward the edge of the tweezer on the right side or the left side. We are actually chancing bending our fans or just kind of throwing our fan aesthetic off. So if we really place our fingers flat and right in between that tweezer, so it's perfectly balanced in the middle, meaning here on the tweezer, then we're gonna evenly distribute that pressure and that tension, and it's gonna be really nice and offer you a lot more control. So that's really important. And also the angle that you come in on, you should be coming in on an angle that works for picking up the fan. So this might take some effort, and we definitely will have more videos on our angles and stuff as well. But if you can take a look at how I'm angling my tweezers, instead of coming in on an angle like this, if I try to come in with my tweezers pointed towards myself, I'm not gonna do a very good job at picking up a fan. It's gonna look pretty wonky. So guys, just make sure that you're playing around with angles. And if you're finding these products hard to use, then just really start playing around with new things. And when I am pulling the fan off, I'm not pulling up I'm pulling towards myself. So my tweezer's starting here. Again, just watch that. Got my little fan. Now I'm pulling toward myself. And that helps keep the fan fanned as well, because when we pull up, we're gonna kind of pull that fan apart, or we're gonna keep it together, like too close together. And we'll end up with little wonky lashes that we're not holding onto, like this guy. So that's what works really well for me, but by all means, everyone has their preference, so please play around with it. This video is meant to open your mind to trying new things, you know, and it's really important that if you're not having a positive experience with a product, to just try new things, because I'm sure that there is a way to use it that you would really love. So just open your mind up and try new things. But before we leave, I'm going to show you 2 more techniques. So these are last but definitely not least. So when I'm working with my Easy Fans, again, I'm using my Grippo Slim Boot. coming in, I'm going to grab my fan, and I'm going to actually fan off the strip for this one. So I grab my bundle, I'm going to lay it down. I always make sure that my base is really pushed in. Then I'm going to use the tips of my tweezers, however you have to, and just gently fan those guys out. And then you're going to come in and you're going to want to pick it up, but you need to know your sweet spot. Your sweet spot's very important, and that's the spot on your tweezer that you're going to get the best grip, where your tweezers close 100% from tip to base. So if they don't close in the back here, that's okay, but that's not where your sweet spot's going to be. And ideally, your sweet spot would go all the way across as it does on our Grippo Slim Boot. But you want to find out where you have the best tension, because I should be able to move that base around however I want, and the top lashes will not move at all. That's how much pressure and control I have over that fan. So I'll show you that close up. And even if you want to fan off the strip like this, you can mix and match all of these guys together if you choose. Whatever works best for you. And then last but definitely not least, we have our V-neck fans. Guys, these are the easiest fans to use ever, and one of my personal favorites now. They achieve the darkest result. As you can see, they overlap in a V shape, and oh my goodness, the result is stunning. So they're actually made with flat lashes, so they're ultra lightweight and very, very dark. So you're gonna use these just like you would a classic. So you see how I grab one lash just like a classic lash, and it's gonna make a perfect V for you. And from there, if you want it closed, you can definitely move it to make it more closed, or you can keep it wider. It's that easy to use. The base will not come apart unless you're really pulling on it, because it does have that solution, that bonding agent that you're getting at the bottom of any Easy Fans. So you can see here, it's pretty resilient, but these create the most stunning look, and again, are very, very user-friendly. So I'll do one more example. There you go, just like that. It's easy as that, and then you just go ahead and apply it just like you would a classic lash, but it's perfect for filling in those gaps or giving that ultra dark result. And these are brand new to our company, and I have been loving them, and I know you're gonna love them too. So guys, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment. We are always here to answer any questions that you have, and are super, super excited to see the work that you create with these. So if you have Instagram, tag us in your work. We'd love to see it. Have a good day, guys.
If you have any questions, as always, reach out by Facebook, Instagram, or email. Thanks.